everyone, so this is something a little bit different that I've decided to start. As you may know, I'm a dancer. I don't really know what to call it yet, but I've decided to start a little series where I'm going to be having sessions with different people I know in the industry, different people I know at colleges and stuff, and just talk to them about their experience, which is going to aim to just give people a bit more information about becoming a dancer, what it's like going to college, being in the industry, you know, where to start, what it's even like being a dancer, how do you get jobs, etc, etc. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to have college editions where I talk to people in college, and then hopefully that's going to help anyone looking to audition, looking to become a dancer, performer, in musical theatre, in commercial. So I'm going to have all sorts of people on here. I'm not really sure what to expect with this. I'm just going with the flow. I've decided to start it because I think it will be something really, really helpful. So I'm going to try and cover all bases. I think it's something that no one really speaks about, and unless you really know someone who is a professional dancer, it's sometimes like it's hard to know what to do. You have to just learn as you go. So that's why I just think it will be something really, really useful, and I just want to give people as many tips as I can. I'm going to have different people on each time I make a video, and I'm hoping that it's going to be something really, really helpful. So yeah, I'm going to stop waffling and I'm just going to start the video now. So this is episode 1, I think it's episode 1 of whatever this is called, whatever I've called it in the bio, in the title. I'm a mess. So this is episode 1 of my little series that I'm starting, talking to dancers, performers, all of that about the industry and what it's like to be a dancer pretty much. So today I'm here with Sophie.
Sorry, I didn't know if you wanted me to say or you wanted to say. Hi!
Sophie's in 2nd year and she goes to the Urdang Academy. I mean, I'm going to let you talk about all of that. But yeah, me and Sophie have known each other for a long time. Literally, we used to be duet partners when we were younger, you know, all of that. Our mums are like really good friends. So yeah, Sophie's like amazing. Like she's gonna get shy, but yeah, she's literally to perfect. She's so good. And we're gonna talk about what she's done and what she wants to do and blah 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 blah. So you ready?
I'm ready.
By the way, if I look down, I'm not prepared. I don't know my questions. I'm looking at my phone. Okay. So, Sophie, first, you just want to introduce yourself, tell us obviously who you are. We know your name's Sophie, but your age and just a little bit about you.
There's nothing I hate more than talking about myself.
I know, and this is all about you, so great.
I love it. I'm Sophie, I'm 20, and I'm in my 2nd year at Urdang. You've already said this, but I'm in my 2nd year at Urdang. What is there to say about myself? I've done dance and musical theatre like my whole life, so I went to my mum's dance school. I was lucky enough to have a mum going to dance school and a dad who's also in the industry, so we just it's a musical theatre family, so I was always kind of going to do it. And then yeah, I've just kind of trained in it my whole life, and now I'm finally at college and obviously soon we'll be graduating and out in the industry, so exciting and scary times.
What age do you think you were when you decided, like, that's it, I'm gonna go into this?
Well, I don't think it was a specific age. I was quite lucky in that it was just always what I've done. And there was never really a moment where I was like, oh yeah, I actually really want to do this. I don't remember ever having that kind of like...
Yeah, yours was just like...
Yeah. I'm really lucky and grateful for that, because there's obviously like times where you're, you know, like when people get to about 16, you have to decide what to go and study.
Yeah.
And it's that hard point in your life where you're like, well, what do I do? No one should have, like, it's pressure, and I don't think you should have to make those decisions at that age anyway, but... Yeah. But luckily, I never had that stress.
Yeah. Had you done a lot of street commercial?
I always did street. I mean, it was like really old-fashioned. Like when I look back at it now,
yeah, it's not even
tragic. Yeah, but I did street. Some funky, whatever I thought. I don't really know.
A lot of people, well, people probably won't know. You were actually on the West End when you were younger, weren't you? So do you want to talk about that? What you've done?
So I did my first show at 7, but I auditioned for it the year before as well at 6, which just seems crazy young, and I don't like that. Just seems crazy.
What show was it?
The Sound of Music. So yeah, I auditioned at 6, got to the last round, and then didn't look like any of the other kids because it's about a family. So I mean, that's what I told myself. Maybe I just wasn't good enough. I was very sad. Then I went and got an ice cream, and I was fine. And then I went back a year later, and I got it. I got it. So that was my first show, and then I think a year later or something, I did Oliver, and then I did Shrek. Musical. Oliver, I was the ensemble, random characters. And then Shrek, I was young Fiona.
Okay, so a really big question I think a lot of people struggle with is whether to go to college at 16 or whether to go to college at 18. So you went, well, Sophie's going to talk about it, but what was your thought process and what happened with you?
I was really unsure. Looking back now, I'm very glad I went at 18 to my diploma course. You can do a diploma at 16 as well, but for a degree you'd have to wait till you're 18.
Yeah.
So at the time I was really fixed on going, like, wanting to get into arts ed, which they only have a degree, so you'd have to be 18. So then I decided to audition for a local BTEC course, as well as Lane, which was just, at the time I was really interested in the college, and that was another option that I was willing to, like, sacrifice getting to audition for arts ed at 18.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So if I got into Lane, I was thinking, oh, maybe I will go there then and do my 3 years at 16.
Yeah.
But when I got the acceptance letter, I just didn't feel the excitement. But I said, like, when I get the letter, I'll know. And I just didn't feel that feeling like that was ready. Wasn't ready to move. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I was fully ready. So I went to Miskin in Dartford, which is near where we live, and then I did a 2-year BTEC course there in dance and musical theatre, but primarily dance.
Mm-hmm.
And then after those 2 years, I auditioned again.
To other people asking, because I know a lot of people are like, should I do A-levels? I guess it's very personal, but some people say, is it good to do like a 2-year dance course before? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
I definitely think it's a good idea. It's a hard one because I think if you're going more down the dance route, I don't think there's any harm in going at 16 because dance is a shorter career anyway. They like you younger, and I mean, not always, but so there's no harm in like getting out earlier. But I think with MT and especially acting, having the just more life experience, and I don't know, I definitely feel like in my acting that has been something I'm very grateful for doing, like waiting 2 years, because and just as a person you just mature, and at the time I thought I was mature enough. I was like, I'm so ready, but then now I look back, I just really wasn't. And yeah, I'm really glad I did wait now.
Yeah, 100%. And I think also another thing you've got to consider is totally personal. I went at 18 as well, but I also think this isn't like a big thing, but when you go, like, everyone's going out. Obviously we're in COVID, so you can't if you're first year now, but freshers,
involved in,
you can't be involved, and it's like you don't bond with everyone as much. So that's one thing I do think. And also what's very weird, it doesn't always happen, you get some 16-year-olds that go and mature, but a lot of people I know that went at 16 say, oh, I wish I went.
Yeah, I wish I went at
18. Yeah, so it's totally dependent on you. I wasn't ready. If you're someone who's really confident, very mature, then maybe it's totally different for you, so you have to sort of go based off that. And also talking about what Sophie said about doing the 2 years at Miskin, some people do a BTEC course before, and that again is totally up to you whether you want to do 5 years of training, because that is quite a long time. But
that sounds like a lot.
It does, and I don't know if I would have been able to do it, but it's a hard one. I think it really helps to prepare you, especially if you're someone who thinks, right, I don't know if I'd be ready yet.
I think especially as well, if you come straight from school or A-levels and then you're going into doing a 3-year somewhere at one of the top colleges, there's definitely a bit of a shock to the system with like discipline, and you might not expect it, but some people just aren't prepared for that, and it's like,
especially if your dance school's not like,
some people still have full mentality.
Yeah, or if you're not really, I know some people go to college who haven't really trained like that before, like you're saying, so it could be a real shock to the system. And also what I was going to mention was, one thing that me and Sophie both did that I think is like really useful is auditioning at 16, even if you're going to go at 18. So I also auditioned at 16, but only like I auditioned at Bird just for experience. I think it's such a useful thing because I did not know what to expect. I remember walking in that room and I was just like, I felt like a deer in headlights.
Just to see where you're at, like if you get in yet, because and you'll find out some colleges give you feedback. I remember when I did my Lane, I asked them for feedback and they told me what I can work on, so that was really useful because then you know what to work on over the next 2 years or next year, even if you audition.
100%. If money's tight, of course, like, but if you can afford it, I would definitely suggest it. Not every college, but just one college maybe, just to get a bit of experience. I definitely think that's a really good idea. Now we're going to talk about colleges where you've auditioned and what the audition processes were like at each college, how you found it personally. I know it's different for everyone, but
I'm trying to remember now because
I know
how long ago, it's crazy. When I was 18, I auditioned for Urdang, Bird and Arts Ed. And And I remember being good experiences. I don't remember having too much of a hard time or anything. I enjoyed all of them. To be honest, I didn't really dislike anything about any of them, really. I thought I could see myself at any of them. I'd be happy if I got into them. So for Urdang, well, for all of them, you have to have, generally, you want to have 2 songs. Urdang, I got asked to sing both songs, so but I already had 2 songs prepped for my outside audition because you had to have a legit song and a contemporary song. At Bird, I only got to sing the 1. Actually, I think you only needed 1 for that, but it's always good to have 2 anyway.
Just it is good to have 2.
It's just that they want to hear a different side of your voice or anything. Or maybe if you haven't shown enough in your first song and they want to hear a bit more. So I had a legit song and a contemporary song, which I just kept for all of my auditions. Didn't stress about having more than that, because you just don't want to. You want to be comfortable with the songs and make sure they're ones that you completely know, and you know that you're gonna kind of nail it without worrying too much.
Yeah, because you've got nerves on the day.
Yeah,
so.
You've got to know that if you've got nerves, you're still going to be able to do it. It's just in there, and you don't have to stress. I mean, you still get nervous.
Yeah.
I remember. I was so nervous for my singing bits. And my outside audition, I was so ill.
I think you put so much pressure on yourself as well, though.
The colleges, you want more as well.
That happened to me at Urdang. I wanted it so much. I remember doing my freestyle in jazz, and I was horrific. Coffee, I didn't straighten my knees. Like, I don't even know what I was doing. I was so bad. And afterwards, I was mortified. I just said to my mum, I'm awful. They're never going to take me.
Of course they did. But I had the genius idea of choreographing my improv for every audition.
You're crazy.
It's like set, I don't know, 4 counts of 8 that I would just bang out.
I think I would have freaked out though and forgot it.
I know what you mean.
I hate freestyle. That's one thing I would say to anyone looking to audition or any dancer at any time. Like, I shouldn't preach it because I'm not. But you should practice freestyle, even if you're just in your house. Like, seriously, it's such a good thing to have. Sorry, right. Sophie. Anyway, so you had to do 2 songs.
2 songs. And then for Bird and Urdang, I just needed a contemporary monologue for acting. And Art said you needed a Shakespeare. Oh, just a Shakespeare? No, Shakespeare and contemporary. So Urdang, you just had to do a ballet class, so some bar work and I think a couple corner exercises, and then a jazz routine.
It's like proper, like, Urdang's like tech jazz for the first half, commercial for the second half, freestyle. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like...
I think the hardest thing about it was the stamina. You do it in like 4s, and you'd be the first 2, and then they'd be like, okay, swap around, and you have to go back, full out. And
that's what I would say, pace yourself.
You have to learn to pace yourself, definitely. Don't always do it so full out, because you're like, I'm in an audition. Don't mark it, but like, just reserve your energies a little bit.
Honestly, because they literally make you go. It's like, you do it and it's long, because imagine you do half jazz, half commercial, half, well, like a few counts, probably like 4 counts of 8, freestyle, and then they're like, okay, go again, like literally 30 seconds later.
I remember you telling me about that before, so I was like, you were like, you have to, like, yourself, or you will die. And I was in the audition, I was like, I have to, because I get so out of breath as well. Like, I'm so unfit. It's very full out, but it's great.
Yeah.
It's just perform, you'll be fine. Honestly, go for it. And then Bird was a really long dance audition.
Yeah,
there was like
4.
Yeah, I think it was warm up, ballet, an MT, and a commercial.
Yeah. They're obviously not as long as like the whole Urdang one, but you have to do 4 different routines.
And in all back to back in the same room. It was very long. It definitely pushed us, and I guess it just shows who's hard working and who's like not going to give up. That was long, but good. And then Art said it was just, again, kind of warm up exercises, and then an MT jazz kind of thing. Mine was to a Hamilton song. It was very jazz choreo, but it was all about the acting side of things, and they wanted you to really think of a storyline. So definitely for going for Art said, like, the whole point of that audition is really to show your storytelling as opposed to having a dance head on.
What made you pick Urdang?
So yeah, I chose Urdang because I just liked the vibe, I think, and also I looked into the teachers a lot and the graduates and just what people have done out of it. And it's amazing at every college really, but also Tash went there and I obviously got a lot of information from her and your mum and
Miss Encyclopedia Googled.
Yeah, so I was always hearing about how amazing it was from you and anyone I knew that had gone there, and to me it just seemed like the right place for me. I think it's also got this people still sometimes view it as a dance college, and it's just really not. It's so not.
I think it's because so many people come out of there that are incredible dancers that it's classed as that when it is so not. And that's why another thing, sorry Sophie, I will need to mention is a lot of people are scared to go there because they think it's so cool and it's this and it's that. It is not. Like, I think what it is it's from back when we used to do Move It, we don't anymore, but when you do Move It and like some of the people dress kind of trendy, and I think you see like some of the hip hop dancers and you're like, oh my god, because I remember Sophie was a bit like, and Olivia, our other friend, and I was like, no, I promise you it's not like that. You've just seen like the 3% of the college that's like that. Most of it isn't like that. So if that is one thing where you're like, oh, Urdang, I don't know if it's for me because it's so cool, it's not. Everyone's so different. Like, obviously that is, everyone's unique, individual.
It's not everyone. Like, it is all about individuality, and that's something as well that I just loved. I didn't feel like I was going there to fill a type of girl. I wasn't like taking over from the year above me as a brunette girl. You know what I mean? There's just, everyone's so different. If they like you and they take you. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you fill a brief or anything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I definitely liked that sort of things. And on my audition, the atmosphere was so great, and it's just one of those schools. It's also in centre of London, and that's just a big
100%.
Birds College is actually very close to me, so I would literally had a 15-minute drive every day.
Literally, same. That's what put me off of it. Me and Sophie live like really near it, and it's just like we're going to be in the same area, seeing the same people that we know, and I just like.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I did go there just so I didn't have to wake up so early. But yeah, being in London, like the teachers say if they're working in the evenings in a show, they're close by, they can teach in the day. Like you're in the mix of everything.
Yeah, and also like things, if you want to go to outside classes, obviously it depends on your timetable. Sometimes you finish at 7 and you can't really go, but if you want to go to outside classes, it's so much easier. We'd all just get on the tube and go. Whereas if you're out of London, that's fine, but then you've got to try and find classes around there. You know,
and go out and do things as well.
Exactly. Drinks. Nights out. This is kind of an advice question. I'm going to ask you like a lot of advice questions, but on my TikTok, I had people asking me like, oh, do I need to be flexible? What if I'm not confident in singing? Like, does this mean I'm not going to get in? And what would your advice be? And what do you think about the fact of like people who maybe haven't necessarily done tap before, or haven't done this before, or haven't done that before, and they're not like an all-rounder? Do you think that's an issue? And what's your advice?
It's definitely not an issue. Everyone has done different things. Again, Urdang, anyway, love individuality. So if you're a killer singer but you've never really danced, but you show in your audition that you're willing to try and learn to dance, and it's all about just showing in that audition that you're willing to learn and potential. It's not about, like, you don't go to college to be being perfect, or you wouldn't need to go to college to just go and audition.
Exactly.
My advice would be just to go for everything and not overthink it, and not think that everyone there is amazing at everything. People who, in the dance audition, say you're not a dancer but you're a singer, and you're in that dance audition and there's so many flexible girls or boys and everyone's whacking their legs and you're just like down here, but you're going for it. You'll still look amazing if you're going for it. And also, then when you go into your singing audition and maybe they're really shy in their singing, so you've got that above them, but everyone's just got their own things and their own strengths. So don't compare yourself to anyone in your audition.
And also, don't let anyone psych you out. Like, not psych you out, but I remember sitting there. People are crazy. I was sitting there in the corridor once, and like, I remember one girl was like to me, "So, can you lift your leg for me? Can you show?" Like, I think it was, I don't know if it was an arabesque or like a leg, and I was just like, it's weird. Yeah, I was just sitting there like, I didn't do it, obviously. Do not psych yourself out. Like, everyone has different strengths, and they will also see different things in different people. It's totally about, all it's about is your performance. You know, because who wants to watch a boring dancer that can kick their legs to here? No one, and that's becoming less and less of a trend.
Yeah, because so many people are flexible now. Like, it is a trend to be flexible. People are naturally flexible. People work on it, but that is not dancing at the end of the day. If you can dance, that's definitely more important.
And that's all they push when you're at college, don't you think?
You think that when you're younger. We did dance competitions for years, so that's in your head. I've got to be flexible. I've got to be a good turner. Yeah. But you just realise it's not the be all and end all.
No, 100%. You're obviously in your second year. Obviously, it's a bit weird over Zoom at the moment and stuff. But what track are you on? What is the track system? Obviously, it's different at different colleges, but this is the way Urdang works. In your second year, you get put on a track, and then that's your track for the second and third year. So Sophie's just gonna take it away. Like, explain, you know, what it is.
This tracking system is also something that really made me want to go to Urdang. I really liked it. I'm on track C, which is the more singer-actor track. So there used to be 4 tracks. I don't really know what.
Yeah, there was A, B, C, and D. B was like, basically, the reason I got rid of it was because it was a bit of a nothing track. It was like, what's the point of it? It doesn't really make any sense.
So there's track A, which is the kind of an equal split of singing, dancing, and acting. So maybe call it the triple threat track. It's now track B, I think, or maybe it's called D. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, they've changed it to B, but it was D when I was there.
Still kind of say D sometimes. That's the dance course, and then track C is the more actor singer. On track C, anyway, we have a very equal split of singing, acting, and dancing. I don't know. I think on track A, it's equal, but it's also kind of more half dance and then half singing and acting together. Whereas I feel like my track is very split.
Yeah.
Exactly what I wanted. I have just the right amount of everything. I thought that before I went to Urdang and Natasha was telling me about the tracks, I thought I was going to be track A. I thought I'd want to be track A. But then it came to it, and I just really wanted to focus on the singing and acting. It's where like the real passion is. So I just wanted to have more singing and acting lessons. The track A is very similar to your first year timetable, I think.
Yeah. So first year, everyone does the same. Like you do get set. So we all get set on your tap and on your singing. So the way it works is I was set 3 singing, which is bottom set, but that kind of works because if you're bottom set singing, you're normally with the dancers, because if you're not the best at singing, you're normally good at dancing. So then we'd be all together in every dance class except for ballet and tap. So we'd be together for street, jazz, all of that stuff, contemporary. Then you're also set ballet sets, so set 1, 2, and 3, and then tap set 1, 2, and 3. So it's really good because you're with the groups you're supposed to be with, I feel like, usually when it comes to that. And then that's what Sophie was saying. So the amount of, like, you get everything sort of quite even.
It's half dance, half split, essentially. So there's a pretty even split. But I just personally wanted a bit less dance in second year. I love dance. I've done it for so long. And it's just like...
And you're very good. She's very good at dancing. I think it's good because... I think the tracks are so good because they sort of allow you to go towards... It's not saying, like, if you're on track C, you're going to be a lead. But it sort of caters more towards that. So I was track D. For example, in their assessments and singing, they'd do more songs than what track D would do. Because, obviously, when you're auditioning, if you're auditioning for a lead, you're going to have to sing a lot more than the ensemble's going to have to sing. So it sort of caters towards where you want to go and where you see yourself. And then we would also get, on track D, you get more commercial and street. Not by loads, but you get commercial and street, whereas track A just get commercial and you get commercial as well, don't you?
I do this term, yeah.
So track C still get it, but maybe just for one term, and then they'll do something the next term. So yeah, we won't talk about like the whole in-depth thing, but go on, so that's pretty much it.
The tracking system is definitely where you kind of have to think about what you really want to focus on and what career you're going to have.
Yeah.
What kind of career you want. It's not that you have to stick with that. You can change track as well after about, I don't know,
6 weeks, I think.
Yeah, 6 weeks or something. But it's just to kind of figure out where you think you sit in the industry kind of thing.
Yeah. And also, it goes into your third year. So Sophie's obviously still in second year, but in third year, for example, we have a class preparing us for auditions, and it is what it's called, masterclass. And basically, we all do different, each week you audition for a different musical. The track D's musicals are all very dance-based, and sometimes everyone will get the same, but they cater it towards what you're going for. So
I really like this as well. They let us pick our tracks, or we got to put 2 down, so I put C as my top and then A as my second option. And then we had a 1-to-1, and they just kind of said, yeah, we're going to stick with the track you wanted, we think it's perfect for you. Or they might say, we actually think you're better off on this track, just but you can still say, no, I think you can kind of fight for what you want.
Yeah, and if not, what they'll say is, go on this track that we think for 6 weeks. If you still don't like it, you can move. So they are pretty free, but they also do know what they're talking about, obviously. So.
But also when choosing a track, you get like an example of the timetable of that track, which was very useful because I kind of saw how much I got of everything that I wanted, and it just was the right one.
Yeah, and it always changes. Like, what my year got in track C is probably a little bit different to what Sophie got, and she's only like 2 years below me. Yeah, so it always changes, but this is currently the vibe of what it is. This is another thing that changes, and obviously you're online, but when you were in person, is it strict? What are the rules about makeup, stuff like that?
Well, there used to be a makeup rule, which I think everyone kind of knows about Urdang. I makeup every day.
Yeah.
Like, red lipstick for jazz, and so the rule used to be
ballet.
red lip for jazz, and then for ballet we had to have some sort of lip, like a nude or.
You're so lucky. Mine in first year and second year was red, and no, it must have changed. It changed in third year. Mine was red lip for every dance class.
Pretty much. So they just wanted you to have makeup on, or is it presentable? I think also it does sometimes make you feel better.
Yeah.
Not that you don't have to, but on a day maybe when you're feeling a bit low, like putting a bit of makeup on does help you. It prepares you as well for the industry, because generally if you're going to a dance audition you turn up with some makeup on. But then for your acting and singing classes you don't really have to wear makeup, you can be as minimal. Like a lot of my acting teachers would be like, I'd rather you didn't wear makeup at all, but then we'll be like, what's we take it off and then put it back on the dance, like what do we do? But now they've changed the rule to completely whatever you want to do. And
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they completely changed it, and I think it's because they preach individuality, and that's kind of the big thing there. So I think they've realised that kind of let them have reign of that.
I'll be honest, I didn't wear it anyway, but it's like, do you know what it is? If you set yourself up in first year and you come in every day with a full face, then they know you as that and they expect you to do that. If you just never did, then they're just like,
they don't know what I mean? They don't know what your face is. They don't know.
Exactly, and it's got a lot more chill. Obviously, these rules have been from like ages ago, so it's good that they're adapting them and stuff. Thoughts on degree/diploma? What made you pick diploma?
I don't know much about degree. I don't know if you do either, but I definitely am not. I don't love the academic side of things, so I just didn't want to do a degree because I wanted a minimal amount of written work as I could. Not ashamed of that. I just didn't want that. I knew I wanted to do a diploma because one, it's less work, more practical hours, definitely. I think. Yeah. It was just better for me.
I was the same. I personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing a degree, but I think people think, oh my god, am I not going to get jobs if I? Does it matter? Like, do I need to have a degree? Oh my gosh, no one cares.
And kind of audition, and they're like, did you get a degree though? Literally, no, you're never going to be asked.
Nobody cares. So if that's the thing that's freaking you out, don't let that freak you out because it doesn't matter. I just think, and also you can always top up your diploma. If you do a diploma and then think, oh, I want a degree, you can do an extra year and do that. But yeah, I think I love diploma, but also you don't have the stress in third year of thinking, oh my god, like auditions, oh my god, my dissertation, oh my gosh, this. No, you don't have any of that. You just have to think about, oh my gosh, right, I'm doing a musical now. Let me, Some people on my TikTok said, they were like, how do you know what college to go to? How do I know what's a good college? How do I know?
Well, I guess if you have no idea, I mean, I've grown up in a place where I always knew about colleges, and I started going to watch college shows at quite a young age. Well, not quite a young age, but I'm probably about 15 because I was auditioning at 16. Mm-hmm. I think Move It is definitely a big thing in
100%.
The UK. It definitely I remember always going to Move It and seeing the colleges perform and seeing their stands. You get to go up and it's called there all students, which is, I think, talking to the students is very important.
Yeah, we should probably mention Move It in case people don't know what it is. There's like a dance event every year called Move It, and it's amazing. Basically, Urdang don't do it anymore, so you won't see them there. But every college pretty much ever goes there. So if you want to find out a little bit more, I would suggest going there. They've got stands, you can ask questions, you also get to watch them perform, you can take classes. You don't have to do any of that, but you can just walk around if you want. So I would suggest going to that. When that literally made me think I'm going to Urdang from the first time.
Urdang, it was just one of the main events there, wasn't it?
It was. Everyone was like.
There were a few colleges that everyone's like, Urdang's on, or performers are on. That was a big thing about Urdang. I always had this thing, they're so cool, they're just so amazing.
Yeah.
And everyone loved watching them.
I think it's a personal thing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say this college is good, this college is good, this isn't. This, like, it's personal. Obviously, I do in my head have ones that I think personally are better.
Yeah, but there's like the top colleges, but then there's also smaller colleges
that are very good. And they have very good faculty. So I would say Google, number one, think, do you want to stay in your area or do you want to move? Because that's an important thing. If you're not ready to move, if you live like up north and you don't want to come down to London, like to go to, then that's fine. You've got to then look in your area. But if you're just open to everything, then I would just say Google and look at the grads and what they've done. That's so important, especially recent grads. And then also look at, like Sophie said, the teachers, like who's teaching them, what have they done. That would be my main
definitely.
And if there's an open day, go to an open day. Obviously, COVID's kind of stopping the open days. I think they do online ones. It's not the same, but
There's a lot of third year musicals, a lot of summer shows.
Yeah, summer shows. Go watch that. That's what I did. I went to see so many shows. Like,
definitely see as much as you can, get a feel for it. See, can you see yourself doing that? But also, it's not about the college you go to. There's a big stress and pressure on getting in the top colleges,
100%.
and put that on yourself, because wherever you go, if you work hard and you just, it's all about you, really.
It is. What you put in is what you get out. It's very weird. Sometimes you see the kids in first year who are like, oh my god, they're amazing, and they don't always end up on top, because it's what you put in is what you get out. And I think that's why a lot of people I spoke to who went at 16 were like, oh, gutted I didn't go at 18, because sometimes your focus isn't, because it's very like demanding, especially like sometimes your timetable, you start at like 8:30 and then you finish at 7, and like it can be a lot. Okay, so what are your top tips for people auditioning, advice when applying, if you remember any of that? Any just advice for anyone auditioning for any college, what would your advice be?
A big bit of advice I'd give is not to necessarily have a favourite college and a dream college, because I did that for years, and then when it didn't go my way, it's like completely heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
And you put so much pressure on yourself, and you build it up so much, you think it's the end of the world when you don't get into the place you really wanted. But that, as I said, like, that isn't, where you go doesn't really matter. It's all about you.
And things work out in weird ways. I think sometimes things happen for the best. Like, I think you going to Urdang was like the best decision. I remember I was like to my mum, she needs to go to Urdang. She needs to go to Urdang.
I'm very glad I'm at Urdang. I'm so glad I'm there. Like, I'm happy it worked out that way.
Yeah.
Advice as well, just embrace who you are. As cringy as it sounds, like, Urdang preaches about individuality. That is the big thing. Same as it is really at every college. They don't want carbon copies of people. So just,
yeah, I agree. Own who you are. Like, don't try and be other. I remember one of my teachers was saying this in third year to my friend. Someone's gonna want you, right? Someone's gonna want you, but there's no point just copying and trying to be other people. Be you and own it.
Yeah,
100%. What's the point? Why do you want to be like everyone else? Be like yourself, because someone's gonna want you like that, and you're gonna thrive. Like, don't. Yeah, Sophie, you're right.
Really embrace who you are and go with that. Don't stress about not being perfect. If you crack on a note, who cares? If you fall over, even, like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Get up and keep going. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Don't overthink anything. Coming from an overthinker, don't overthink anything. Yeah, just embrace it all, and embrace it as experience. Auditioning it's fun and it's exciting as well.
Yeah.
Don't make it all nerve-wracking and scary.
Yeah.
Don't forget that these colleges want people to do well. You're just always thinking on audition, they're sitting there like, oh, she's so bad. Like, everyone wants you to do well. They don't want to be wasting their time. So everyone's on your side, and also you're also auditioning the college. Don't just think of them auditioning you. You're auditioning them to see if you like the college.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes thinking of it in that way definitely takes the pressure off a bit. I think for me that definitely helped.
That's so good. That's such a good way to think about it. You don't know that you even want to go there. So Sophie's also so right when she says about they want you to do well. They're not like looking at you wanting you to fail. They want you to do good because they want to be like, oh my god, yeah, I want them. It's like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like Sophie said, I think you can have a favourite college, but it kind of can be detrimental because, like me, I put so much pressure on myself at my Urdang audition, and I wish I went in how I went into all my other auditions and was just more chill, because I would have done so much better. So it's easy for us to say, but yeah, just chill. Take it as a day of class. Be nice. That's literally it. Okay, so what do you think you've gained from being at Urdang so far?
A lot. I think now I'm at the point where, it's going to sound cringy, but I just know who I am as a performer now. Mm-hmm. This is a thing why I'm so glad I went now at 18, because I just feel like I wasn't fully developed then in the way I need to be. Like, my voice is now kind of how it's going to be, and I now feel ready. Obviously not completely ready yet, still my third year, but you feel every day you kind of get more and more ready. Overall, you just feel that growth.
I agree. I came out a different person. I went in and came out a different person. I went in shy little Natasha that's like, oh my god, I didn't even get a bus on my own in my local area.
In a commercial class, you wouldn't even like do it in groups.
Oh my god, I was so bad. No, guys, like, I don't think you understand. And the thing is, people don't know me when I was like this, so people see like me now and they're like, no, like, I'm like, I don't think you understand. I was anxiety central, but no, 100%, I agree with you there. Advice to someone wanting to start out. Let's say I've never danced and I might be like 15, or 14. I've never danced. Where to start? Like, what would you say to me?
Sign up for some classes, maybe join a local dance school. Try and get some training in everything, especially if you want to do MT. I mean, still training ballet, really. If you want to be able to dance, you need to start with ballet, really. Yeah, training a bit of everything and do a lot of research, because you learn so much by watching things. Find musicals online and on YouTube. YouTube's like your best friend, really. Yeah.
Do summer schools. Urdang, Performers, Bird, like all colleges like that, they do summer schools. So if you're a bit younger, like I think you can go from when you're so young.
Yeah.
Go to the summer schools, and that really helped me with my confidence, because I'm like such a shy. Sophie knows this. There's one time I remember when we did Urdang Youth Academy, and you weren't there one week, and I'd missed the week before. I think I didn't want to go in. Remember, I didn't go to one of the lessons. I was with your mum and my mum, and I went to have a coffee, and you'd gone into. I was too scared. We had Regan.
Yeah, you made me go on my own into a class. You're like, yeah, I'm not going to that. I was like, Tash, come on. And then I remember, but I think one day as well, I didn't go, and you like went there, and then you just didn't go in, and you went home.
I went down. Guys, like, listen, you can don't. If you're someone who's really, really shy, like, you couldn't have been worse than me, so don't worry, you're going to get there. But also, I just think, push yourself out of your comfort zone. So even though I kind of didn't like doing these things, but I did, my mum kind of was like, oh, come on. And
afterwards is
so good. You enjoy it. Mine was always like the beginning of the day, I was like, oh my god, like I hate it. And then at the end I was like, oh my god, I love it. Like, so look into it. There's like little associate programs, look at what's good. But I think that's another really good tip for people who are starting out. What would your advice to your younger self be?
Probably just not to think so much and worry so much about what people think about me, and just to be comfortable in myself. I just was very insecure in like to not compare myself to other people.
Everyone's so different. Like, you're all on your own paths. Different stuff's gonna happen for different people at different times. Like,
yeah,
100%.
I think especially now in lockdown, it's something I've really learned. You want to be able to look back at this time in, I don't know, a year or 10 years and be able to say that you made the most of your training and worked your hardest. If this is a day where I'm feeling a bit low and not really motivated, I'll just think, am I gonna look back on this and be like, oh, I didn't try?
Yeah.
Know that you made the most of those 3 years, or all your life, all your training that you've done. Just make the most of everything.
That's such a hard thing to apply, but it's such a good thing.
Yeah, some days it feels impossible.
It does. You just have to like soak up, like, especially at college, like, it goes so quick. I feel like I was in first year yesterday, and now I've had almost a year out. So yeah, don't take it for granted, and people would die to be on your shoes. So like, just when you're feeling ungrateful, think about how lucky you are to be where you are, and then just push yourself even more, because there's always someone working harder over there.
Yeah, there's always someone.
So, I've got a little thing that I didn't tell you we were doing. I'm going to give you a quick fire round.
Okay.
So, I've got some questions written down just to get to know you, okay?
I'm stressed.
Are you ready? What's your favourite song at the moment?
Oh my god. I didn't do that one because I don't listen to normal music.
Yeah, you listen to this music, we know.
Jacob Collier Phil.
Hey, what's your favourite restaurant?
That's away.
Favourite film?
About Time.
Who would you like to follow you on Instagram?
Ooh, Laura Osnes or something. Yeah.
What's your favourite musical?
Banford.
Favourite celebrity?
Oh my god, Harry Styles.
Favourite TV show?
Grey's Anatomy.
Favourite food? Like any food?
Burger.
Favourite drink?
Not.
Favourite drink, what did you say?
Alcohol.
Favourite clothing shop?
Urban Outfitters.
So that is the end of our little chat interview. Yeah, I really hope that you've enjoyed that and enjoyed meeting Sophie. She's gonna like go on to do amazing things. So go, Sophie. What's your Instagram? I'll put it. No, I'm acting like I have thousands of people watching me. I have about 60. They're my friends who probably know you too. But what's your Instagram anyway, in case anyone watches this?
Sophie P. Wythe.
I'll put it there, because definitely follow her. Yeah, I think this is quite exciting. I'm happy we've done this. If you've got any questions about anything, whether it's college or whether it's what it's like at Urdang or anything that you want to find out, comment below or message us. Like literally on Instagram, just message me. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. Thank you, Sophie, for agreeing to do this and being my first ever person. And thank you for watching if you did. Please subscribe and turn my notification bell on, because that means you'll get notified when I post. I don't post a lot, but when I post, because I'm trying to be consistent. But yeah, I'll see you in my next video. And thank you, Sophie, for coming.
Thank you.